Chapter 3, Lesson 2, Parallel Lines and Transversals. So go ahead and pause the video here. So we have a transversal is a line that cuts two or more parallel lines. And when it does that, it creates four types of special angles: corresponding angles, alternate interior angles, alternate exterior angles, and consecutive angles. So in this diagram here, we have T being a transversal cutting through our S, which are parallel. So we look at angle 11 and angle 14 for part 1, and I notice that they are both on the inside of my parallel lines. However, they are on opposite sides of my transversal. So that is called alternate interior angles. And we can shorten it to AIA. Next, it wants angle 9 and angle 16. Well, they are on opposite sides of my transversal, so that's alternate. And they are on the outside of my parallel lines, so that's exterior angles. Next, 12 and 16. So they're on the same side of the transversal T, so that's going to take away any alternate theorems. Then there's only two others, which are consecutive, which means next to each other. Well, 12 and 14 are not next to each other. 16, because 14 is breaking them apart. So they are in the same place, though. On line R, they're in the bottom right corner. And on line S, they're also in the bottom right corner. So these are what we call corresponding. Next, we have 12 and 14, which are on the same side as on the same side of T, and they are both on the inside, so they are next to each other, so we call those consecutive. And the last one, 10 and 15, are on opposite sides of the line, so they are alternate. They are outside of the parallel lines, and so they are alternate exterior angles. Oh, and we have to tell what the relationship between the angles are. So 11 and 14, since they're alternate interior, are congruent. Alternate exterior are congruent. Corresponding are congruent. Consecutive ones are supplementary. Alternate exterior congruent. Classify each pair of angles and tell whether each equality is true or false. So number 5 says angle 11 and 14. Those are alternate interior angles. And is it true that those are equal? Yes. 1 and 11 are nothing, because although they're on opposite sides of the line, one is on the inside of the parallel lines and one's on the outside. So false. Now, the next one says 12 and 14 equals 180. Those are consecutive, and that is true that the consecutive ones add up to 180. Last one is 3 and 11. Those are corresponding, and they do not equal 180. They are equal themselves. Angle 9 and 16, alternate exterior, and that's true, they're equal. 4 plus 6 equals 180. Yes, they are consecutive. True. 4 and 5 are equal. Yes, alternate interior. And the last one, 2 and 6 are corresponding. And yes, they are equal. All right, so first thing we have to do in this is we have to find angle X. Now, the picture is kind of hard to read, but it's saying that this angle right here is 5x plus 5, and this one right here is 6x minus 5. So those are alternate interiors, which means that those are equal. So I'm going to solve for x by subtracting 5x to both sides and then adding 5 so that x is 10. So if x is 10, 5 times 10 plus 5 is 55. So this is also 55. And vertical angles would say this is 55. Corresponding angles would say this is 55. Vertical angles would say 3 is 55. Since this one here is 55, this is 55. Vertical angles. This is 55 corresponding. These two right here would add up to 180. So subtract 55 from 180 and I would get 125. And that's it.